Okay, welcome again. This is our discussion segment, and you are still watching Anambra Broadcasting Service. In our flagship program, Good Morning Anambra, where we bring up topics of interest and then get some people that should know and then help us look at this. You also have an opportunity to participate because in a very short while we'll place a phone line on the screen whereby you can make a contribution to us what we're talking about. My name is Sijama. Welcome. Okay, this morning we're going to look at the topic that says the race for the Speaker of the National Assembly. The race for the Speaker of the National Assembly. And joining me this morning to look at that race is Obi Meze. Obi Meze is a public affairs analyst. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, John.
And seated close to me is Ebuka Onyekwelo. Ebuka Onyekwelo is a columnist, blogger, and also a public affairs analyst. Good morning, Ebuka.
Good morning.
Okay, good to have you here, gentlemen. When I saw your names here as the people that are going to participate this morning, I got scared, but I just hope you are going to alleviate my fears this morning by making it easy for us, especially those of us that are still at home watching. Okay, so the race for the Speaker of the National Assembly. Of course, you know that they say that House, no? National Assembly.
House of Representatives.
When we say National Assembly, we mean the two chambers, the Senate and the House of Representatives place. Okay, so we know exactly what is going on now because politics, they say, is all about interest. A whole lot of people are now saying, now that we'll have Muslim tickets as president and the vice president, why don't we have a Christian ticket as the Senate president or even in the House of Representatives as a speaker? And then some other people were saying, the president is from the South. So definitely the Senate president and perhaps the Speaker of the House of Assembly should come from the North. When we get to the North, we'll now start dividing which part of the North. Is it Central, is it East, or is it West? Okay, so all these are minimal are the things we're going to look at in this topic, the race for the Speaker of the National Assembly. Okay, welcome again, gentlemen. Now, let me start with you, Ebuka Obi-Kwelo, sorry. So, Onyekwelo, sorry. So, how do you think this permutation is going to go?
Okay, well, like you've already said, the president is already from Southwest, and also we already have a vice president from the Northeast. So I think these are part of the considerations that shape or that should shape where the next speaker of the House of Representatives, comes from. Essentially, Nigeria is a multi-ethnic and multi-religious country, so which implies that we do put into consideration some of these differences to be able to ensure that there is balance in power sharing. So far, there are about 4 geopolitical zones that are not in the scheme of power at the moment. We're talking about the Northwest, talking about the North Central, talking about South, and then Southeast. What I think is that both the Senate President and also the Speaker of the House of Reps would come from these four geopolitical zones. But for now, when you look at those jostling to become the next Speaker of House of Reps, you see Southeast is there. I think Benjamin Kalu from Abia State, I think representing Ben there, is there. There is a man from a member from Kwara who just declared interest to run for the position, I think 2 days ago. And also there is someone from Borno State who is also running. You know, and when you look at it, the Borno guy also, the vice president-elect is from Borno State, you know. And then, the interesting thing there is that when you look at the list, you see people from the geopolitical zone of the vice president-elect running for either maybe Senate or even Ahmed Lawan also is trying to return, and he's also from Northeast.
The Northeast.
So, but the interesting thing is you can't find anyone from Southwest who is gunning for either Senate presidency or
because Southwest is taking.
Because I think it's not just that it's taking. I think there's a high level political maturity in Southwest. So maybe as we progress, we might begin to look at the details to see why people there are not. Because when you look at the list of those who are gunning for other House of Reps speakership or Senate presidency, you see that even people from I think more than 2-3 people from Borno State and more than 2-3 from Northeast, where you have the vice president-elect, where the vice president-elect, came from, and so. But essentially, at the end of the day, what I'm looking at is sort of a balanced arrangement where people from both maybe northwest or north central and south or southeast. Maybe Senate president will come from the southeast or northwest, and then the speaker will also come from either north central or maybe south. But let's see how it plays out.
Okay, let's see how it plays out. But first, fundamentally, let's look at what is supposed to be. I know, was it in the 7th or the 8th National Assembly, there was this permutation that were done by the political parties, and then the assembly members got together to say, no, you don't have right to choose for us who is going to be our speaker. And I think that was when they chose Bankole,
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yes.
Okay, so now I want to find out whose responsibility it is to choose the principals in the national assemblies. Is it the political parties or the members themselves?
To choose where the principal officers come from, I think is the responsibility of the political party. Now, to choose the particular individual,
Okay.
I think is the responsibility of the members, either in the Senate or in the House of Representatives. Because as members, they know who is the ranking member. Of course, they will take into consideration the geopolitics, the ethnicity, like he pointed out earlier, okay, and religion and all that. They will take that into consideration. But since they are members of the House or the Senate, they know who is who. It may not necessarily be that Alhaji Yakubu is the most ranking member, but members of the House know whether Alhaji Yakubu can bring them together or divide them. So they may now decide, instead of giving it to Alhaji Yakubu, give it to Chief Okoye. Okay? All right? So the party decides where the zone, the political zone, from where the principal officers are going to come from. And that's why we have this present challenge that we have.
Go on.
Yeah, that's why we have this present challenge that we have. The APC has not said anything. The APC has not said anything about zoning of offices. That's not surprising because it had to do with the politics before they had their presidential primaries. Though there was a lot of politics, Shuladamuste, and so on and so forth. So that is presently affecting their political consideration. And then there is also the issue of the fact that the president-elect has been a little unsettled, which may be due to health reasons and so on and so forth. So the APC hasn't decided. Right now there are about 9 in the, jostling in the House of Representatives. And like he pointed out, like Ebuka pointed out, they are from all over the place except the Southwest. But if you look further, you may find that most of them, a good number of them, about 1/3, a little more, are from the North Central. So that may indicate that the North Central people are reading the body language of the party leaders, and they know that they are likely going to get it, which is why you have more of them.
So if that is the situation, now let's bring in this geopolitical party something.
Yeah.
Okay. So if that is the case now, where is, what do you call it, the Southeast and the South-South in the computation? Ebuka?
Well, these things, politics has its own way. You have to make your case. You don't sit back and expect others to defend your interest. Mm-hmm. So what I think is, first of all, there are certain basic considerations like the ranking, which, of course, Southeast has enough ranking members in the House of in APC, in House of Reps, and also in the Senate. There are many people, Ostais, I saw Aljus Wakalo, and they're also running for the position of Senate presidency, by the way. And also, when you look at the House of Reps, you see someone like the spokesman of the House of Reps, Benjamin Kalo, the only returned member in APC from Abia State. So he is also, I think for now, he's the only person of Southeast extraction that is running for speakership of the House of Reps. And so he just has to make his own case. There are, I think, about 2 persons from Plateau State, someone from Zamfara, then 2 or so persons also from Borno State. Even the current deputy speaker is also trying to
trying to run
for House of Reps, speaker.
Current deputy speaker is from the East.
Yes, it is.
That's
the current Northeast, yes. So now these are things that that you can't just sit back and then expect people to call you and then give
it to you.
No, you have to come out and make your case. If you are qualified for the position, then you have to get on the board and start campaigning and declare that you are interested in this.
But I was actually going to ask you, how do I make my case when a whole lot of things are playing, the role of who goes there or who does not go there?
No,
how do I make my case as a person?
No, the Southeast, you are making your case as a person in terms of whether you are qualified, because when you are looking at the leadership of the House, you have to think of it in terms of group politics. You're looking at group politics, and apart from having the competence, legislative competence, you have to understand how to manage people. If you are not that kind of person, if you are not the kind of person that can manage, people who can relate to people easily, who can be able to maneuver, and it becomes much more difficult for you to manage the House, and that's when the government is going to suffer for it. So all over the place, even in the State Assembly, all these considerations, come into play to determine who becomes the Speaker. Otherwise, that's where you have a consistent, tussle, both leadership crisis and all sorts of things, because the interest of the group, is not well managed by the Speaker. And so these are part of the thing. So it's not just, so when you are talking about, there are 2 issues that come into play. You have to talk about the personal pedigree, the competence of the individual in question, and then you have to talk about the group. Talk about power sharing formula, and then if your place, or if your constituency is qualified or stands a chance, in terms of power distribution, if there is really a case to be made, like people from Borno State who are going to become a Speaker of House of Reps. I mean, that looks quite funny and maybe even greedy, because you cannot have the Vice President who will be sworn in a matter of a month or so, and then you also want to be the Speaker of the House from the same state. So it is,
from the same zone.
and when there are zones, we're talking about coming from the same state now, where you have 6 states making up a zone, and then you are from the same state
with the vice president,
and you also want to be Speaker of House of Reps. That's why I said that Southwest appears to be much more mature, politically mature, because nobody from Southwest is gunning for anything, not for Senate President, not for Speaker of House of Reps. So it shows a lot of discretion on their part, in terms of understanding that there are people who do not have anything and who should be given stake in the polity. So these are part of the considerations. So we are talking people coming from the same state, not even the same zone now. When you're talking of zone, you're talking about maybe Northwest. We have 7 states that made up Northwest geopolitical zone.
Do you think it's impossible?
From the same zone. There are 4 zones
I know,
that do not have a state.
Considering the level of political impunity in Nigeria, do you think it's impossible for us to have that?
Well, it's not really a Nigerian factor. I think it's about politics. If the people who are in the race,
it's about politics, Nigerian politics.
If they're not Nigerian politics, politics is, you see, like I said, you cannot sit back and expect people to champion your cause, to make a case for you. They are making a case for themselves. So what you have to do is to engage your own strategies and see how you can deploy your tactics to make your own case and get what you are looking for. So I expect that by now, those who are running for offices in the National Assembly, especially of Southeast extraction, should be making very strong case, the reason why they should be this or that. Someone like Ozokala, I've seen that he's trying to make some moves and all of that, but then he should move beyond that. So that's what I'm looking at. Otherwise, if we feel that this thing should naturally come to us, then you have to you'll be assured that you are going to lose out.
Okay. We have looked at the geopolitical zoning aspect of choosing who is going to be the Speaker or maybe the Senate President of the National Assembly. Let us look at the role that ethnicity and religion plays in Nigerian politics.
Indeed, I wanted Ebuka to finish and to add that we are likely to see, just like the APC presidential and vice presidential candidate selection, we are likely to see politics unusual in the selection of the National Assembly leaders. First and foremost, we have Muslim tickets. Yes, Ebuka says that nobody is going to give you something on a platter of gold. You have to fight for it. The Christians in APC and at various levels of the party, I know there is already a lobby, are asking for Christian Senate President, Christian House of Rep, as their own way of balancing. And you will ask me, has it happened in the past? Yes, it has happened. We've had a situation during Shagari, where we had Shagari as president. We had Alex Ekwueme as vice president. We had Joseph Wayas as president of the Senate. And we had Edwin Umozoke as Speaker of the House. So it has happened.
Muslim ticket, presidency ticket has never happened.
It has, even though it didn't come into effect. It didn't come into effect, but Abiola did choose a Muslim. And is believed to have won overwhelmingly. Yes. Okay? So we're likely to see the two factors you mentioned, particularly religion, is going to play very strongly in the selection of the Speaker and the Senate President. Ethnicity too. Yes, like Ebuka said, Benjamin Kalu is about the only ranking member in the, from the southeast. I think this is his third term. Okay? And being the Lone Ranger, if the southeast is not getting Senate presidency,
Yes.
hey, equity demands that the southeast must get the speaker. But we have to bear in mind that nobody is going to hand it over to you on a platter of gold. Nobody. You have to fight for it. So we need the Southeasterners and the Southerners need to be lobbying and lobbying seriously. Otherwise, like he said, even Borno states are jostling for speakership, despite the fact that they have they have the vice presidency. So nobody is going to give it to you on a platter of gold. If you ask me, I think it is going to be very, very difficult, assuming that the Southeasterners don't get the Senate presidency. It is going to be very, very difficult for Kalu to get the speakership. Because I look at the Southeast APC, they're in complete disarray. In complete disarray. So I can't see that person that comes out and says, yes, 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 we have to go for this battle. And then they will all galvanize and go for that battle. It is difficult for me to see that.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it because the pattern of voting this time around?
Yeah.
Perhaps they don't have, most of them did not win election.
Yes.
So, or is it because of the internal squabbles they have? Okay, we're going to talk about this when we come back from this break. We'll take a short break now to bring in some people that we'll talk to on the street. And when we return, we'll continue talking.
Looking at the configuration of national politics of the country, it is only apt that Igbos are given the position of the Senate President and the Chairman of National Assembly. For the mere fact that the Yorubas have taken the presidency through Mr. Tinubu, who is now the president-elect, the Northerners have taken the vice presidency. And it is only apt that Igbos should be given the position of the Senate President, who is equal to the Chairman of the National Assembly.
So you think they are ready?
We are ready. We ever ready. We have had it from 1999 to 2007. Igbos were handling the position and as a matter of fact, it's still the same configuration, because then Olusegun Obasanjo from the west was the president. His vice president was Atiku Abubakar from northeast, and the Senate president then from Nwabara to Evans and Werem to Pius Anyim, and rest of them, they're all from the southeast. So I believe now it is almost the same scenario again. So I believe it is ripe that Igbo should have to take the Senate presidency.
How ripe? I think whoever do, we are, I mean, put the right peg at the right hole. You understand? If an Igbo man is qualified to be the Senate president, why don't give it to him? But the major thing we are talking as in Igbo is about the election, the past election. Understand? I don't think I can have on. You won't put two things at the same time, okay? We are looking for our mandate, and I think if we got that, then we can shift the Senate president to another zone.
Igbo dị nkwadobe bụ Senate president ma ọ bụrụ na because etu a based on etu ihe si wee dọkịta na akpọrọ national Tinubu bụ president elect na onya winning INEC kwuru even though na the matter the aka na contest here na Supreme Court election tribunal. So eventually ọ bụrụ na Tinubu may emerge as president. A man as Senate president, the issue of Senate president will now still come to the south because vice is from the north, president is from south, vice is from north. So Senate president will still come back to the south. And when you come back to the south, it's between the south and southeast. So that is where you now pick Senate president, either from the south or southeast. So they will stand the chance because or between two of them. If you say you cannot find somebody here, we have people that you can pick as Senate president. So we have the chance.
Okay, good to have you back. It is still Good Morning Anambra, and we are looking at the race to the Speaker of the National Assembly. I told you we're looking at the two assemblies now, the red and the green chambers. Okay, and who takes it? But I know that the Northerners, that's the way they play their politics. That is where I'm afraid of what is going to happen at the end of the day after all this jostling. That when it comes to their choice, they will tell you that it's only two poles that they recognize in this country. Two poles, the northern and the southern poles. Now the southern poles have taken the presidency, that everything that remains should go to the north. I'm coming to you. Okay? And then when it comes to other, when it is in their own, they now remember that when the presidency is in the north, they now remember that they will have 6 geopolitical zones. Now that even people from the same place, the same states with the vice president elect is jostling for speakership in the National Assembly, don't you think that this is what they have in mind? You have taken the presidency, so every other thing remains in the north. I mean, the South have taken the presidency, so every other thing goes to the north.
Well, you see, one thing about politics demands a lot of negotiation and a lot of conversation. And the North has a natural advantage within Nigerian political landscape because of their numbers. The North as a whole, as a region, has a total of 19 states. When you look at the number of House of Reps members and also number of members of the Senate, you see that they also are in control. And then also when you look at the number of, even by geopolitical zone, for instance, Northwest has about 7 states. Southeast has just 5 states. The other geopolitical zones all have 6 states each, except Southeast with just 5 states. And so when you also look at the numbers in terms of voting strength, you see that Northwest has, based on the last, from the last election, has about 22 million registered voters, the highest in the country, followed by Southwest. And so that's why we say that politics is a game of numbers. So what happens is that you use what you have to negotiate for what you intend to get. So that is essentially what the North, does every other time. They use their numbers to negotiate, to try to cajole, to twist. These are all ingredients of politics. Sometimes even by kind of intimidation, as what call maybe gumboot diplomacy in international relations. You try to harass people, as if you want to attack them, but you do not intend to attack them. And so it causes a change of behavior in how they respond or how they react or how they approach, you on the matter. So these are all part of ingredients of politics and how to make sure that your interest is secured. So now, directly to the question, the fact remains in itself that Nigeria, of course, will have the north and south pole divide. But indeed, when we are talking about national political power of consequence, we look at it from geopolitical zone viewpoint mostly. Because we are now saying that the north, of course, has taken, the North, of course, the incoming vice president is from the North. The outgoing president is from Northwest, and then the vice president is from Southwest, and then the incoming president is from Southwest, and then the incoming vice president is from Northeast. All right. Now, so basically, I said this while we were starting. We still have about 4 geopolitical zones that are not represented within, that are not yet represented. And so I suspect very strongly that these are the things that are going to shape and also, of course, religion, where the incoming speaker and Senate president will, the zones they will emerge from. And so we have a Northwest that is not yet represented, but Northwest can be considered not to be a priority, considering that the president, the outgoing president, is from the Northwest. So if we are looking at it from that viewpoint, we could serve as an excuse, as a credible excuse to not consider Northwest as a top priority for the two top jobs in the National Assembly. And so if we agree on that, then we have to move to North Central. When we move to North Central, you see that there are bases for North Central, though you have to, the deputy speaker is from Plateau, that's North Central, and he's also now going to become the speaker. The president speaker. What's it? Yeah. Okay, now from there we move to South-South, of course, and then also Southeast. And so, but then, politics, you have to also consider the support that the party enjoys from these zones. And when we look at it again, you see that Northwest APC enjoyed the highest level of patronage from Northwest. From 2015 till date, Northwest has given APC the highest number of votes. In 2015, I think they gave 7 million votes or so. Then 2019, about 5 million votes. And then this year, they also gave the highest. I'm not very sure of the numbers now. So, but then, these are because you have to reward political support, because these things we're talking about is politics. It's politics. So you have to reward political support. But I'm saying that the party can, maybe reward that with the position of, say, maybe deputy speaker or the deputy Senate, president. But
or other principal offices.
Or other principal offices.
Major ones that you know.
No, because that's what is called consequential political power. It's not just having an office. If the office is of no consequence, it's as good as it doesn't have any weight.
So is it not because of this rewarding that we're having these cases of marginalization?
No, it's not.
North Central is crying, and Southeast.
No, there are consequences. Every political choice, is consequential. If you support me, for instance, to become this, if there is an organization here and then you support me to reach my dream aspiration within the organization, of course, I have moral obligation towards you to ensure that, as discussed, or even as as I assume, that your own interest for supporting me, your bargain, is also covered. It's part of it. You can't take it away. Okay. For any reason whatsoever.
Okay. Yeah. Now, Mr. Benze, let's look at what's going to be the consequences of this polarization that we are about to witness now in the choice of principal officers occupying the highest positions in this country when it comes to the president, the vice president, the Senate president, the Speaker of the House of Assembly, and perhaps their deputies. If it doesn't go well with other regions, what do you think, or what do you envisage is going to be the consequence of all this?
I pray not. I pray not, even though Ebuka had said it consistently, that nothing is given to you for free. I think that the Southeast and the South-South need to embark on a very, very powerful lobby to save this country.
Yes, absolutely.
Neither the Southeast nor the South-South must accept deputy speaker or deputy Senate president. Because the moment you look at the map of Nigeria, you see that the Southeast and the South-South are not there. So even though it behoves on us to go and do this crying, they have marginalized us, they've sent us out of Nigeria.
Have you gained anything from crying?
You can. When you can. Yes, you can. You can make it difficult for them not to listen. Make it difficult for them not to, for them to act the other way. It's a lobby. Although the way things are, the South side is already feeling defeated. The Southeast, we have only two people, Oji Kalu and Benjamin. Okay. Izunanso won't really.
Yeah, I don't think he will fly.
He will fly. So, we have only Oji Kalu and Benjamin Kalu. So, one needs to see between now and May 29 a united APC Southeast South and a very, very powerful lobby. And if I can go on, South looks very likely to be able to have a united lobby than the Southeast. Given the role played by Yesom Wike,
I was going to
from Rivers State in the presidential election, and we know how he plays his politics. Wike doesn't take prisoners. If he believes that the South, it doesn't care whether the person is from Rivers. If he believes that the South must have the Senate president, he will get it. If he believes that the even Southeast, if he believes that the Southeast should have the Senate speaker, he will get it.
Wike is leaving office in a couple of weeks. Do you think he still has that political muscle to get what he wants?
Yes.
Now?
Yes. This decision will be taken between now and May 29. Between now and May 29.
Okay, let's talk about what's going on in the Southeast, Ebuka. We said that before we went on break, we said that we'll have unstable house when it comes to APC and their candidates that are likely to lobby for these positions. So what is the problem? I asked the question, is it because most of them did not win elections, or that there's an internal problem within their political party, that could hamper them from not getting what they want? What is it that they need to do?
Well, I think, like I said, I think the strongest candidate we have from the Southeast gunning for Senate presidency is Ojo Akalo, the former governor of Abia State. And I think he stands a very, very, very good chance, given especially his role.
What of Usta Izinaso?
Usta Izinaso was not very, prominent in the electioneering. Ojo Akalo played some major roles in the electioneering that saw to the emergence of the president-elect. So I don't know if he had discussed, which I suspect that I think at some level there were discussions, because that's part of politics. Politics, you don't go waste your time supporting anybody because you just want the person to win. There has to be some discussions. There has to be some agreements. There has to be some, give and take. That's how it works. So if you are taking it out of this contest, you are just on your own. So I think Carlo must have played his card very well, and he was unlike so many other people who were neither here nor there. He was fully out, and very clear about his position from day one. So I think to that extent he might be enjoying the support of the president-elect and also the people who are coming in to take over from the current administration. But then, if I have a strong feeling that the president-elect will support Southeasterner to be Senate president, that might be Ojo Akalo. Or
well, it's a local campaign of calumny against Ojo Akalo because he said he supported Muslim ticket.
You see,
that's and now why he doesn't want to support the Senate president.
I've seen. I think the people are just people are having fun. Those things are not.
Do you think it's fun?
They're making fun of.
But it's affecting
whatever.
him.
It cannot affect him. Those things are inconsequential.
I don't think. No, that's not an issue.
These things are not inconsequential.
It's not an issue. The major challenge that Ojo Kalu may have, if there is, how would I put it, a reunification of the APC Southeast bloc, that may work against him.
Mm-hmm. That was what I asked.
Yes, they may work against him because Ojo Kalu appears to be a lone ranger. Like Ebuka was saying, he worked closely with Tinubu. and may have done his negotiations on a personal basis. Therefore, if he doesn't play his cards well with Uzodimma, there'll be serious problem.
Okay, what exactly is going on? Power Tozo, who is going to be in charge of APC, who is going to control APC in the Southeast? What is the problem with the APC in the Southeast?
The problem is it from the perception of the masses or the public members of the public?
No, the political party itself.
The party. There is no
The
party.
gladiators,
The party doesn't have.
and a whole lot of them.
You see, when power comes into play, it begins to cause all kinds of disaffection and competition begins to come in, unhealthy competition. So that's the nature of power. It's not about the APC. But if you are talking about APC in terms of perception, public perception, then I think to a large extent, some leaders of the party have contributed, so much to the perception, to public perception of the party, in the Southeast. Especially, we have a situation where we have sitting ministers of Nigeria, and what are they doing? What are they influencing for the Southeast? Where are they? Who are they talking to? We have a minister from Anambra, for instance.
Of APC
when was the last time you heard about him? Has he ever had any kind of media engagement? Has he ever had any kind of public town hall?
Who is the person?
Had any kind of,
Minister for what?
We have a minister from Anambra State. We have a minister from Anambra State. We have not just, I think we also have a minister of state. I know, so when you look at these people, I mean, they are there, but they are not there. And these are, so the people keep feeding, they keep being fed with the impression that the party does not care. But you have someone that the party, that is supposed to represent the party, and he does not represent the party. And
is he only in this? Is he only in this South? I think they have the same problem in the South with the Amechi and co. Okay.
So anytime you see people being agitating or not being happy with any political arrangement, there are people whose interests have been subverted, whose interests are not protected. It's about interest. So when you do the right thing, when you do what you're supposed to do with your power, with your influence power or with the power you have, then it solves the problem directly. But when you try to, when you take power that is supposed to be, supposed to keep in custody of the public, and then you use the power as if it's your private property.
To benefit you.
And just you alone and maybe you and your family members, and then without any recourse to people, the people who support you and the people who care about you and the other people, that is a power that is not going to last. That a power that is not going to be not of serious consequence, because the influence will not be there.
Okay, Meza, let me come to you, because let's trash this thing, because it does appear that's why we're having problems. We have a good number of them in APC, since it's winner takes it all politics that we do in Nigeria.
Yeah.
So, but there seems to be this nonchalancy about the people, especially the ministers or other people that have key positions in the government of this APC, coming from the Southeast and South. Why? Because they're supposed to be carrying people along, just like Ibuka said, okay? But you don't see them during campaign. I didn't even see any of them campaigning for their party during another kind of thing. So what is that?
It has to do with power. Still the same power sharing. Like Ibuka said, I keep going back to him. You'll be stupid if you campaign for a candidate without negotiations. What do I get?
Your party candidates.
Yes. What do my people get?
Yeah. I
Yes.
thought they say party is supreme. First of all, protect the interest of the party before you go
does not mean
individual.
You just go out on the street and begin to campaign.
Igbo politics.
No, it's not just, no, it's not Igbo.
Oh, really?
All over Nigeria, all those people who campaigned for Tinubu or Shetima actually sat down. The smart ones amongst them. Just as we singled Oji Kalu out, and which is why I also say he's a lone ranger. Now, it's unfortunate that in the APC, Southeast APC, they've been embroiled with power tussle, even though they didn't come out open boxing. But a lot of people, a lot of them who are supposed leaders, do not accept the leadership of Uzodinma.
The APC members.
The APC members. They don't accept the leadership of Uzodinma.
Why?
The same thing. Why? Uzodinma just came from nowhere and then
it's from their party.
Yes,
it's
and then he became governor. He became governor with a baggage.
I know they should be happy that their state, their party has gotten another state.
No, because that means that I now take 1 or 2 steps back.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We must go. And I'd like to thank you very much, gentlemen, for doing justice to this topic this morning. There's still a whole lot of things to talk about. But then, we're still here. We are not going. Thank you very much. Mr. Obi Meze, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for thanking me.
And then Ebuka Onyekwelo, who is a columnist, a blogger, and a public affairs analyst. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Okay, I must say that you guys have done well. Thank you very much. And my name is Jama, and I thank you for joining us from though you did not participate. I know, but when you are giving you exactly what you want, you don't have to interrupt. You see your participation as an interruption. Thank you. We'll be here tomorrow, so do remember to join us early. Bye.